Hello and welcome to KamenRider Blackman. Ignore my lip for right now. I just put some cream on it because my skin's been breaking out since Thursday or Friday. So I'm keeping myself at a distance for the moment. But here is a new video for today. It's been a long time since I've done a review of KamenRider ZO, and finally, 2 days ago on Thursday, I finally got all cut up, and now I'm ready to review. The reason why I haven't done a review in a while is because my old laptop broke and I needed a new one. What happened was that the hard drive was broken, and it must have been from all the times that I've accidentally dropped it. So I ended up needing to get a new laptop. And so this week, or so last week, I managed to get a new laptop, but I've missed so many episodes of ZO that writing a script out for this would take a long time. And so instead I'm going to wing it and vlog it. And so let's get into this right now. Well, I remember where I left off at. Now let's start off with the KamenRider Blade tribute. The first half of that episode wasn't really a big fan of it. The second half of it was much better. I'm not saying that the KamenRider Blade tribute was fantastic, but it was alright. And so, detail by detail, let's get into it. So for the KamenRider Blade tribute, we got back 3 returning actors: Kenzaki, KamenRider Blade; Hajime, KamenRider Chalice; and the little girl from the show, Amane, who, first of all, it's the same actress. She's an adult now, so interesting fact there. And she is Another Blade. Now, off the bat, I love Another Blade's outfit. It looks amazing. And Ray Hayes, if you're watching this video, then I know you definitely remember the comparison I made to Another Blade and that monster from Ben 10, Wild Mutt. Because, in terms of their structures, they both look similar, but the Another Blade design looks amazing, and its powers are fantastic. And so the reason why Amane has become Another Blade is so that she could go out and find Hajime, which makes me wonder right now, because her whole point is wanting to go out and find Hajime, but shouldn't she know where he lives or something? She's going all over, from one place to another place to another place to find Hajime. Shouldn't you have his address down in a book or something? And in the second half of the tribute, the next episode, she immediately goes to his house. You could have made, this could have been your first stop. But yeah, as well, for going all along with the Blade tribute, we come back to, once again, we come back to where we left off in Blade, between Chalice and Blade, and the whole battle fight. If those two ever met again, the battle fight would rise right back. It would start off right where it left off if one of them were defeated. And so, the reason why they start fighting again is because Hajime started to be active, which is what drew Kenzaki to him. But here's the biggest turnaround of all. Another blade can absorb, like both Chalice and Blade's undead, like essence, everything, which turns them both human. And so that would make another blade the only that would technically make another blade the only Joker left, which would start back up the battle fight. And so that's the whole point of that tribute. And speaking of which, I haven't really talked about the main characters of the show. Like, the whole point, I guess, of it is that Gates and Waz are having their issues, and that's about it, which gets resolved in the next episode. Once the world ends, they make amends. Also, KamenRider DN is there for some odd reason. Like, he's there for some odd reason. And so, moving on. Let's see here, what else? What else is there about? Oh, yeah. And I almost forgot, or didn't almost forget, the Trinity form. First things first, that ride watch came out of somewhere because White Waz stole, or at least White Waz got, I guess, KamenRider DN to steal the Gates Revive and ZO2 ride watches. And with those two in White Waz's hands, plus power going in through him, that creates a whole new ride watch. And I have no idea how that happens at all. It's very weird seeing a ride watch literally be conceived in a three. Ah, crap! I almost said my joke again. Conceived in a threesome. Oh my god! I almost said my. Anywho, Trinity form. Let's talk about that suit. I like that it's black and gold. I'll give it that. It's a very interesting looking Megazord. To be fair, it does look like a Megazord. Zio's face is literally in the middle, and Gates and Waz are the arms. Something about that, the first thought of this is immediately a Megazord. Also, Trinity form is Zio's second mid-season form. I only have one issue with that, but we will get into that a little later. But that is the KamenRider Blade tribute. Gates and Waz resolve their issues with each other, and the ever-lying issue of Kenzaki being an undead is technically resolved in this episode. Mind you, it's temporary, but it gets resolved, because I'm pretty sure if his powers were to come back, he would return to being a Joker. And it's pretty weird too how Hajime becomes human too, despite technically being an undead. But there's speculation there with him copying the human undead so much that once his Joker essence were stripped of him, all that's left were the human undead reflection, whatever. A lot of speculation there. Anywho, moving on now to the Agito tribute, which those two episodes are my personal favorites, because I think they're both amazing. Mind you, a while ago, I'm literally sort of coming off from reviewing Agito, sort of, from a couple of months ago. But still, my point is, it's the Agito tribute, and these 2 episodes are great because there's no one common undead. The plot of the entire episode is that there are a bunch of another Agitos running around, aka they reuse the another Agito suit 1,000 times, to which, bad Toei, recycling your suits. But in all seriousness though, what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, like the whole point is creating a bunch of another Agitos to spread and cause havoc, to lure KamenRider Agito Shoichi like back to Japan so that Schwartz could steal the Agito Ride Watch. That's the whole point of that plan. And while we're at it, Tsukomi actually gets something of character development because it turns out she has amnesia, and we learn that she actually has the powers and in this 2-parter as well, because when 2 monsters were about to attack her, she actually froze time, then unfroze time. Now, back to speculation. There was something about that. Some people saying that she's a time jacker, but literally throughout that entire time, I thought honestly that she was an Agito, just because it was the Agito tribute, so would make sense. But we'll see about that once we get to it. Now, as for more on the Agito tribute, here are the returning actors for that. Omuro, the second, one of the 2 people that was part of the G3 unit. He's a captain now. And let's see here, 2001 to 19, I guess, yeah, 19 years later, like, the G3 system has been mass produced, so there are now multiple KamenRider G3s. And so, that's what he's been up to for the last few years. Yeah, and 2 other actors are Mana and Shoichi himself. And so that is the Agito tribute there. Now, moving on to the Hibiki tribute, I believe. Wow, if I sound like I'm speeding through this right now, I don't have a script. I'm really basing this all off of memory and what I've seen so far. But now, the Hibiki tribute. Here are our returning actors for that. KamenRider Todoroki and KamenRider Zeranos as Weird, because I'm pretty sure Zeranos was based off of a bull and not an Oni. I'm just kidding. It's KamenRider Zeranos' actor. Before being on Den-O, he was on KamenRider Hibiki as a character named Kiria, who is now a instructor, I believe. And the another writer, of course, another Hibiki, is Kiria's student, as well as an old friend of Sogo's. Now, what else can I say? Now, yeah, so like I said, Kiria's student and Sogo's friend, another Hibiki. Like, this plot is Wool's plan, actually, because he wants to obtain the Hibiki Ride Watch and get his powers. Now, the reason why we're getting Kiria as opposed to Hibiki himself is because, one, what went down with Hibiki, his actor being pissed about what happened in the latter half of that show and the production and everything. And 2, his actor is possibly retired. So we get Kiria instead, who is impersonating, saying that he's KamenRider Hibiki, which he isn't, and he gets exposed of right away once he transforms into his blank Oni form, which I believe is called KamenRider Koki. I guess for the moment, let's talk about that suit. It's a blank Hibiki, basically, and it's white and silver, and a lighter color of purple. It's a blank. This must be the... It makes me think right now. It must be like that blank form for Oni Kamen Riders, and once they become a full Oni, they actually get color to their suit. But yeah, in this form, Koki, he is a nameless Oni because Kiria didn't inherit Hibiki's powers. It wasn't passed on to him. And so, yeah, this episode and the next episode's been about him being a fraud. And for an episode like this, because it's just, really, like, I really don't know how to pinpoint it, really. It's just, really don't know how to pinpoint it. But it's just one thing I do have now. Once, like, Kiria's exposed as not Hibiki, like, what's the point of another Hibiki still being around then, since Hibiki's not around? So at this point, he's basically just rampaging. But later on, the reason why Kiria's student is another Hibiki is because they had some falling out where they had a falling out, and Wool caught him when he caught him. Really can't find the words. Anywho, Kiria and his student, they make up, and from there, he inherits Hibiki's powers and actually becomes KamenRider Hibiki. And from there, that's where they ultimately beat the monster by KamenRider Hibiki and Zeo Trinity both fighting together and destroying the monster there. And, oh crap, I cannot believe I almost forgot about this. The saving highlight of this two-parter is Waz, because it's Sogo's birthday, and Waz is pulling out all the stops to celebrate his lord's birthday. I about died laughing so hard at this, because Waz does not transform the whole time. He is so focused on preparing for Sogo's birthday, and he is so scatterbrained about it, like he doesn't know what to do at all. He's like, oh man, what am I gonna do? Oh man, how do I celebrate this? New way, happy birthday. It was so hilarious. I love Waz's actor. He was just so entertaining. And dear Lord, man, it's like Waz made that two-parter for me. Nothing else, not Kiria, not Todoroki, just Waz. Whew, oh Lord. But now, if I was talking about something right now, I'd say, now for something else to talk about, here's what I was going to bring up before about Zeo Trinity. This is Zio's second mid-season form, and after the Blade tribute, they really spam it to that once they really spam it so that they ultimately beat the monster by immediately going to Trinity as opposed to Zio 2. Mind you, Zio 2 is a lot more stronger than Zio Trinity in my opinion, because Zio Trinity, it's just a combination of all three riders, but you could say that's a combination with power levels combining from all three of their base forms, while Zio 2 is an actual game shark, and should have no problem beating anyone. EI, once Zio 2 destroys another Hippiki once, the Ride Watch should have broken there. But now on to the final tribute, as we're caught up to now, the Kiva tribute. This tribute ends inconsistently, because let's get on with the first episode first. A criminal who's been in jail for years now becomes another Kiva and gets assisted by, I guess, the three monsters from Kiva: the werewolf, the Frankenstein, and the missing link monsters. Yeah, they're what come along with another Kiva. And while that's happening, the criminal who is another Kiva is Sogo's like first love or first crush, which was a high school girl that fixed a scrape on his leg that he got when he was like in elementary school. And for that entire episode, they ended, I think anytime she's brought up, they keep finding a substitute for pussy, because instead of actually saying pussy, they say meow. Like, think about that right now. Just that's coming to mind right now. Like, just the masturbatory perceptions from an elementary schooler. But yeah, the criminal / Sogo's like first crush is another Kiva. And while that's going on, we also meet a new rider that comes the hell out of nowhere, apparently from a space-time distortion. KamenRider Ginga. Let's talk about his suit and the fact that he literally came the hell out of nowhere. No bio, no anything. Just, hey, I'm here, I'm gonna destroy everything. Boom. Anywho, KamenRider Ginga, his suit. This is a future rider based off of Forze, and you can tell from the shoulder pads, which are from KamenRider Meteor Storm. But his suit alone, it's alright. It's not bad. I like the purple, and here's something that's interesting. Like, the head, like, he sort of has, like, the lid on top of his helmet, like, the lid on top of his head, like, it reminds me of one of those old Disney World Goofy hats, where Goofy's nose and mouth is the entire hat lid. Like, that's what Ginga's, like, hat, I guess, reminds me of. And that's it. And Ginga sort of wipes the floor with everyone. From Sogo, the Time Jackers, even another Kiva. To which, yeah, he's pretty powerful. So, now on to the second half of this episode, episode 36. This is where things get inconsistent. But before I get to that, first things first about another Kiva. She was a prisoner in jail who claims that she was falsely accused of a crime she didn't commit. Spoiler alert, she did commit the crime. She's just crazy. And now on to the inconsistencies. First things first, the werewolf guy from Kiva, he's in this, and he's one of the monsters that come along with another Kiva. But here's the thing, once we see him, we see that he's retained his mind. And so after that, he just bails, and all that's left are the Frankenstein and the missing link monsters. Like, what? Does that mean they still have their minds intact? That doesn't make any sense. Like, what? Also, Sogo gets the Kiva ride watch from the wolf guy, so how exactly? Like, events should be... That doesn't make any sense, because that doesn't make any sense. The fact that he just had the Kiva watch, it didn't make any sense, like, at all. But anyway, how did they defeat KamenRider Ginga? Is that they had, first things first, Ginga is solar powered, so once he's out of sunlight, he's turned to stone. They wasted that opportunity, so instead, like, Zio, Gates, and Waz, they all beat Ginga, no problem there. And KamenRider Ginga now becomes a ride watch for Waz to use, turning him into KamenRider Waz Ginga. So, let's talk about this suit. He honest to God looks like a judge, Waz. It's I don't know. It's not bad. Like, it's okay, I guess, because because he has that chest armor on as well as the cape, which seems like it would be sort of heavy on him with the type of suit that Waz has, but it's okay, or alright, I guess. Now for another inconsistency, that Waz Ginga is the one that defeats another Kiva. That is another inconsistency that I'm pointing right out of the cut right there. Because how does, like, there's no real connection or real level set there. Like this is another Kiva, and Waz Ginga is just some other random rider form. So literally either the Kiva armor, Zio Trinity, or Zio 2 should be able to destroy the monster, and not just Waz Ginga, because once again, it's just another random rider form. Yeah, it's very powerful, but there's no connection between the two at all. Like, it's just a power boost. And so, moving on now to... Okay, so let's finish this off step by step. Another Kiva is defeated, and the woman whose name I forgot. Oh yeah, Yuko, the criminal. She's defeated, and Aura ends up killing her. Like, yeah, Aura ends up killing her, like sniping her from a distance, which finishes her off, because when Aura and Yuka, they had an altercation earlier where Yuko she literally threw a sewer. She literally threw a sewer, like, I'm looking for the word. Yeah, a sewer lid. She literally, earlier, Yuko used her powers and threw a sewer lid at Aura, which scratched her face. One, sewer lids aren't sharp enough to really scratch someone's... That was not... I'm sorry. Bruise their face, yeah. Scratch it, no. It was not sharp enough to do that. But yeah, because of that, like, Aura literally just snipes her and she dies. So, bright side, she doesn't go back to jail. And so, yeah, I sort of don't dig the Kiva tribute because of how inconsistent it was and how nothing really makes sense with each other. And to top it all off, to end the tribute, like, the woman from Kiva, I forgot her name, she sees Sogo at the end of the episode, and Sogo assumes that she was actually the woman, the girl that he had a crush on from a long time ago. Okay, and no, this is a big no. Like, this is just the big no. This is the big no. Like, she was the woman from 1986. For Sogo as a child, we'd have to be talking, say, like, 2009, where he had to be at least 10. So, no. By then, she had to be a lot older than that, and even older now. So, no. That does not make any sense at all. So, let's wrap this up entirely. Overall, the Blade tribute, okay. Agito tribute, great. Hibiki tribute, eh. And Kiva tribute, definitely down at the bottom. Like, Hibiki was at least consistent with everything, with its characters and storylines. The Kiva tribute just really was so wrong about everything in Kiva and in show, and now it was wrong about everything just in show and even from Kiva. But now, as for the Blade tribute, that was White Waz's last episode. So that now leaves me with a few thoughts on White Waz. White Waz was a great villain. I found him to be pretty entertaining. Like, was he snarky? Yes, but he was snarky dead to your face. That's probably why I like so much about White Waz, is that he wasn't sneaking, he didn't have to hide anything. White Waz was just straight to the point. He was straightforward. He wasn't sneaky like the other was. And he was a man on a mission. And they dropped like plenty of potential plot lines with him. Like how with Gates Revive, with him using the powers, him dying from using Gates Revive would have been the savior for everyone in his timeline, which never gets expanded on there, which is unfortunate because there's plenty of opportunity there. Like hell, who does White Waz associate with? It could have been like another group of villains that could have came in and actually made things a lot more interesting. There could have been some much better villains there, because the Time Jackers, they don't really stand out very much as to right now. Like, Schwarz alone is pretty threatening, and Aura just stood out in that one episode because of a personal tiff with another Kiva, and Wool is just the kid. But yeah, those are my thoughts there. Now, as for the Agito tribute, I loved it. It had all the right beats, and it's good that for Tsukuyomi's She Has Amnesia plotline, they brought in Shoichi for that, because Shoichi actually had amnesia. So to be someone to relate, so having literally a previous writer relate to a current character, it's perfect. Just like in that one episode of Gokaiger with Yellow Lion and Gokai Blue. And so, what else? I think that's about it, really. Those are my thoughts on episodes. Let me think. Those are my thoughts on episodes 29 through 36 of KamenRider Kiva. Now, this way of me doing videos, this way of me doing reviews, I don't know if I'll keep it. I'll try it again and see how that works. But if not, I'll stick to my usual way. But, I don't know. Tell me what you guys think in the comments down below. Thank you for watching. I know this video was a bit different, but I had to get caught up on the show for next week, which is the Kabuto tribute. And with that said, please do not forget to like, subscribe, share this video, and tell your friends about KamenRider Blackman. And I will see you guys next time. Peace.